38, yeah.
Chrysler 300.
440 or 383?
440.
440. Yeah, it sure sounds healthy.
Well, according to the odometer, it's got 98,000 miles.
Oh yeah? Oh, that's really kind of just broken in. Oh, cool. Nice. I went with her when she went to buy this. Such a great little car. Kind of tired of working on bikes. I still can't find a tire for a reasonable price for the trike. I might just have to bite the bullet and spend the 40 or 50 bucks or whatever to get one. But, you know, for a free trike, it kind of sucks. But that's a long ways down the road. As far as Cat Treat's new bike, I bought the tool from Canadian Tire to split the chain. It was about 13 bucks. Bought a chain link for $5 and change, and basically took a couple links out of the chain here so that I could shorten it all up, tighten everything up. I wanted to replace the whole chain, but they didn't have any in stock. Said they had 4, but of course they don't. That's pretty typical. So it goes. So anyway, this was cheaper, and hopefully the chain doesn't explode, and you know, but we've all lived through that. We've all survived. So this tire came off of the pink 6-speed that's in the back. If she decides to ever go back to that 6-speed or upgrade to that 6-speed, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. These awful training wheels are off of this little purple and blue bike behind me, which apparently doesn't work. I think it's more a case of she doesn't like it, and honestly, I don't care. I don't think we paid anything for it. So, you know what, if this gets her riding a bike because it's cooler than the other one, that's fine. And these hideous old training wheels, you know, being so ugly, she might want them off right away. So we'll play a little bit of a psychological game. Otherwise, I think it's as good as it's going to get. It's not a great bike, but it's a free bike, and it does look pretty cool. I'll give it that. So, should be good enough. And I can get these things out of here and eventually get the Everest back in here in this spot and fix up that clutch. So that's kind of next on the agenda, get it out of the yard. Yay! No wheels on it. The plan last night when I got home from work was to quickly go through and start changing the rear wheel bearings and the rear brakes. Got the wheels off and realized that the brake parts I ordered are the wrong ones, so that's a bit of a delay. Nevertheless, I'm going to carry on, change out the wheel hubs, and then we'll do brakes another time. So let's get started. So these are the 262 millimeter rotors fitted to many Patriots. I made the assumption that four-wheel drive Patriots had the 302 millimeter, so I'm just going to have to send those back. That's just a little extra work. So anyway, we're going to start with changing the hub, and to do that, we've got to get the caliper out of the way. The fun bit there is that the hose gets directly in the way of the bolt, so you cannot put a socket on it. So the only way to do that one is with a 14 millimeter wrench. The bottom one you can use a ratchet on. At least they're not tight. These are different from one another, so that's the lower one. There we go. These poor things are pretty worn. Pretty worn indeed. I'm gonna get some wire to tie this up to the spring. We can take the rotor off. And in this case, our park brake is actually part of that. Don't be alarmed by how thin these look. They're just for park brakes, so even new ones they're always thin. Now we can see the hub. It does actually feel fairly rough. So we're going to remove the cotter pin, this little shield, the center nut, and then the hub itself actually bolts on from the back side inside, which is a little bit inconvenient. The center nut is pretty tight, and access to the bolts is not great, but as gross as it makes them to handle, I coated these long ago after assembly with anti-seize, because otherwise this rusts into oblivion. Totally gone. The center nut is 1 1/4 inch. Unfortunately, my impact sockets are at work and I forgot to bring them, so yes, I'm using a chrome socket on an impact gun. Not cool. Thankfully they're not ridiculously tight, so we can get away with it, I suppose. But don't make a habit of that. So here we can see the inside of the hub, and we have to remove the ABS sensor wire up here, and that just unclips with just a pair of needle nose. Should do the trick. There we go. We're just gonna get that right out of the way. Don't forget to do that back up afterwards. Access to these bolts, they're 17mm, and access is pretty poor. So I've got a deep socket, again, a chrome socket. I'm a bad person. I'm gonna do which ones I can with this, and then if I can't get them all, I'll have to switch to a different tool. But for now, I'm gonna do what I can with this. If anyone has a hoist to donate, let me know. There you go. We have ways of making you talk, Mr. Bond. Yes, we do. Well, backing plate is free. It's just stuck to the backing plate. Alright, there we go. It's really just attached by the park brake cable. Yeah. Huh. Evidently I've changed these ones before, because these are Moog. I remember changing those. Well, time to put on new ones. If you're ever concerned about your own OCD tendencies, just remember that there's a guy out there who just painted his brand new wheel hubs so they won't get rusty. When you're installing these, pay attention to where the clip is, because obviously you want it to be here and not here, so you can connect up your harness. Let the fun begin. Getting the bolts in from the back while you line up the hub and the backing plate to the Trailing arm is not a lot of fun, but it's not impossible. So I'm just going to button those up. I'm not going to torque them just yet. We'll torque everything when we're done. Those hub bolts don't go in with any Loctite or anything, just clean. My new M12 fuel Milwaukee 3/8 drive ratchet quite possibly has torqued those to spec. This has got way more jam than the old non-fuel that I replaced, sometimes almost too much.